Hello everyone, welcome to the Hypergamous Journey. My name is Denise. At this channel, I discuss dating advice for mature women, sharing my real life experiences in real time, and my thoughts, opinions, and experiences on dating as a mature woman. I am 63 years old, never married, and no children. I live alone. I live in the Atlanta area. So a lady by the name of Harris, her last name is Harris, and she talks about EBT and SNAP on her channel. She asked me to discuss interracial dating. I haven't dated interracially that much. My first experience with interracial dating, I was in college. I was maybe in my sophomore year. And if you remember Sally Jessy Raphael, she was a talk show host. She was a white woman with blonde hair, and she wore red eyeglasses. And I think she may have been on during the same time as a TV host as Phil Donahue, and maybe Oprah was just beginning. But Sally Jessy Raphael used to wear red eyeglasses on her television show. And so I thought, this is story time. And so I thought, red, that color red would probably look good on me. So I went and bought a pair of red prescription eyeglasses. And in this optometrist store or shop was a young white man who worked there after school. I think he was in college as well. Yeah, he was a college student as well. And so my very first visit, I'll never forget Michael. That Michael was his name, very handsome. He was about 6'1", 6'2", white guy with a kind of prominent nose, but like an oval face, and brownish hair that was like in between curly and straight, but more on the straight side. And he kind of wore it like shaped like maybe, I can't remember who it would be like, but it was kind of cut in layers. Very handsome, but it wasn't over his ears or anything like that. Bow-legged and everything. So when I walked in, he said hello to me and everything. And at the time, I was wearing what they call today box braids, but I was just wearing box braids. That's what they call it now. But back in the day, they were just braids, but boxes. And my hair, as I've said many times, was long, about right here. So he said hello to me. And then he said, my girlfriend has braids like that, and I help her take them out. And so I was like, oh, that's nice. And I kept walking around, but it was his job to engage me and ask me what I was looking for. So I told him, and I found the glasses and tried them on. And I was a college student and I had a part-time job. So I put them on layaway and all of that. Remember layaway? And then he said, well, and I help her take them out. And I thought, oh, she's probably white, wearing braids like Bo Derek, because remember the movie 10, T-E-N? Bo Derek wore cornrows. We called them cornrows. And back in the day, today they call them, I don't know what they call them today, but we called them cornrows back in the day. And so when he said he helps his girlfriend take out her braids, I thought, well, maybe she's wearing them like Bo Derek. So later he kind of said, she's black. I was like, oh, okay. So that made me loosen up a little bit more toward him. And then I would just periodically walk from 23rd and Lexington Avenue to 34th Street and about 5th Avenue to go to this optometrist shop because I was determined to get those kind of glasses, and they were all shaped the same, okay, in different colors. So I ultimately ended up getting 3 pair, the red, a pink, and another one, I think, or 2 pair. But I would just come in there and, look around to see what other kind of styles they had. And he would engage me in conversation. So one day he told me that he and his girlfriend broke up and he would like to take me to lunch. So I said, okay, well, the next time I roll around. And so we exchanged information about our schedules. And so I would walk from 23rd and Lexington Avenue all the way to 34th Street and 5th Avenue. If you're in New York, you know that's a lot of walking, and it's in miles, okay? But when you're young like that and you're a New Yorker and a native New Yorker, you're just used to walking and busing and training it everywhere. So we went to lunch, and so we did that a couple of times. I would come to where he worked, and then we would go someplace in the neighborhood. And I think he had to get back to work because it was lunchtime, so he would have to go back to work. And then I went on. I didn't think anything of it. Then he asked to take me out to dinner. Mind you, I was a sophomore, so I was about 21, and he may have been 1 or 2 years older than me. And I was like, no, you cannot come to Harlem and pick me up, and I live in public housing, okay? In the projects. You cannot come and pick me up at the projects. I was afraid for him. And he said, Denise, I went to an all-black high school. I played on the basketball team. I'm not afraid. I said, I'm afraid for you. And people were very jealous of me there, and I experienced some bullying in the community. And some lady, she calls it the community. I love that. I can't remember her channel, but I experienced some bullying in the community, and girls were not very friendly toward me. I have had a few friends, but generally speaking, the girls in the neighborhood were not very friendly toward me. And some of them I went to school with as well, so they weren't friendly there either. And so that was my first experience with interracial dating. And eventually, we both went our separate ways and things of that nature. But Michael was a really nice guy. I wish I had had the confidence and the courage to really get to know him and really date him. But, we're talking in the I started college in 1980. I started college in 1979. So, the racial climate was still like contentious. Like you could get beat up. I remember going to Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, because I worked at a law firm part-time with some other white college students, and they were Irish, and they lived in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. So this particular community in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn was Irish. So, like the strongest Irish accent that you can imagine, people like their parents and grandparents talk like that. So they would always say, Denise, why don't you come to Bensonhurst and to the bar and do this and with us and all of that. So finally, I gave in and went to Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, and I went at night. So it was a summer night, but it still was dark. And so it may have been around 8, beginning to get dark. So by the time I walked home or went back home, it was completely dark. So somebody, wherever I went, it was like a bar. And I never drank. I tried that. I don't like it. So they knew that I didn't drink. So I just ordered a Coke, hung out with them for maybe an hour or two. And on my way back, walking back to the train station, a couple of white guys yelled the N-word out their car window. And it was like nobody on the street that I can recall but me and them. So I was hightailing it to the train station. And thank God, I didn't experience anything other than name calls. And they said, N, go back where you came from. You don't belong around here. And so that was also during the time where a black man had been tethered to the back of a car and driven and dragged by the car down a road and killed. So that was around that time. So I'm even surprised that I mustered up the courage to go to Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. I don't know what the ethnic makeup of Bensonhurst, Brooklyn is today, but it was definitely like Irish. One of the girls that I worked with, there were 10 of them all together. And she said her parents didn't believe in birth control. As Catholics, they didn't believe in birth control, and they tried to control it naturally. And this particular young woman was an alcoholic, and she would get drunk every single function that the job had. She would be tipsy. And then the other one that I was friends with, her parents wanted her to marry like this neighborhood guy when she graduated high school, which was 18. And so, you know, it was just interesting learning other people's culture. So that was my experience with interracial friendships and Michael dating. And then in college, I played tennis. I took tennis class, and I was partnered with a Chinese young man. And Wei, W-E-I was his name, Wei. And really nice guy, handsome, traditional Chinese guy, bow-legged, muscular, very kind and gentle. We were tennis partners. We became friends. I think he liked me. I liked him, but he was too afraid to take the next step. And of course, even though I grew up I was raised as an independent young woman, I knew that I wasn't going to be asking him out. But there was a fondness with us, and we even played tennis after class at the college. Then I dated Puerto Rican men, young men, nothing serious. One guy around the neighborhood liked me as we began to, like, I was beginning to graduate and think about what I was going to do with my life. Very, very handsome, you know, straight dark hair. But, you know, he drank a little bit too much for me, you know, beer drinking on the corner and all that. He had a job, but, you know, that was a huge turnoff. But gorgeous. Oh my God, this man was gorgeous. I mean, women would just turn around and look at him. He was so gorgeous. And then I dated a Black and Puerto Rican guy. And he was like my first real love, like, you know, childhood love or crush or, well, I was in love with him, okay? So he was Black and Puerto Rican. And yeah, but I never really got into a serious relationship with a white man or a, you know, do or die Puerto Rican or Latino. There was another guy that I dated who was Puerto Rican. He was really nice. Again, very, very handsome. Again, women would, you know, turn around and look at him. And you know how you with a really good looking guy and women just try to like make up reasons to talk to him or be in his line of sight. But both guys, the one who I said drank beer in public and all that kind of stuff, him and the other one, he was, I met him in college. He was tall, about my complexion, straight hair. So he didn't really look Puerto Rican, but he looked like he might be Indian. So as a New Yorker, you just, and you go to school. When I was younger, I went to my elementary school and my junior high school were predominantly, well, really Black, and they were in Harlem. Then when I went to high school, I went to a school that was located on 33rd and Park Avenue. So the high school was at the bottom of the building, and then office buildings were above. And I think they were like 20 to 30, I think 20 or 30 floors above us, businesses. and then they closed that school down. And so I'm just thinking of my interracial dating experiences. So bringing it to the present, yeah, I'm going to do another video on the present because this is like 15 minutes long. That's too much. But this is like the history of me interacting with men and young men of other races and other cultures. And I enjoy talking with, meeting people of other cultures, ethnicities. I'm a good listener, and that makes life exciting to me. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel, and click on the notification bell because I'm going to do more lives. I've done one already. I just don't know when, and I don't want to say it prematurely, but if you click on your notification bell, you'll be notified when I'm about to go live because I will let you know in advance when I'm going to do it. Don't forget to check out the journals the Affirmation Journals on Amazon. And what else? Oh, feel free to make a donation. 2 people have. I've forgotten your names, but I will make sure I mention you in my next video. Yeah, I think that's it. I will see you in the next one.